We are late, and today's live will be a little shorter because I do have an appointment at like 5-ish. So we will be running to that. But look at how nice and sunny and bright and amazing today is. And these kitties have been trying to tell me that they were not fed when in fact they were. But then I opened the window a little bit. Baji! Baji! Haji hocche naki Baji? I think Baji is over there. And I thought I heard a sneeze, so I'm going to go check on him. In the meanwhile, please enjoy our live. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching this as a video replay. If you are looking at this later on, thank you so much for being here. Lovely to have you. And we will chit chat and we will do a little bit of reading as well. Thank you for joining. Baji? Oh, Baji's using the bathroom. Oh, that's good. It's okay, Baji. Good job, Baji. Good job, Baji. Good job. Good job, Baji. Ooh, it's 3:33. 3:33 right now. Good job, Baji Shona. Baji is using his new litter robot. The new litter box system that we got. Baji's using that, and I've been encouraging him because he has been the first one to embrace this new litter box. And therefore, it's actually quite a big deal. With any kind of big change in the house, of course, we want everybody to be good and being able to still do their things properly. That's why I'm making the reassuring voices from over here. And I'm also sharing our live. Let's see if our friends are going to be joining and what is going to be happening today. Sometimes the live kind of really evolves over. Hi Baji, Baji ekhane chole esche shona to shona. Hi Alex, hi Futungi, hi Broski, hi Spooky Month. Meow meow meow, you look cute. Aww. Thank you so very much for joining. Thank you. Baji's just back from the bathroom, and so I was making those reassuring voices. Alex! Hi, Alex Oliver. Hi, Cutie. Futungi Sani says nice. Hello. Thank you, Futungi. Hi, Brusky says hi. Spooky Month says kitty. I love that username, Spooky Month. With a knife. Meow meow, you look cute. Tatya Bichu says, haha. Hi, everyone. Hi, Tatya. How are you? Look, Baji is over here. He's being a little bit introverted today with you guys. But he just used his new toilet. So we are very proud of your progress, Baji. In fact, he has been the path-breaking leader of this new installment. So it's been quite a week with all of this type of stuff happening around the house. So here we are. Thank you for joining. I'm gonna let everybody kind of get settled. Hello, physics teacher. Oh, hi, Tatya. Oh, good. So you know what's gonna be happening here very soon. But I'm gonna let you guys all catch up with each other and dominate the chat for a few minutes, and then we'll get started with our physics teaching. We might even read something fun today, actually. Do you want to play with me? Sure, yeah, we are in a playful mood. Do you have any girl dog ideas, names? Ooh, what about... Kaisi ho aap? Hi, Tatya. Achhi ho aap, kaise hai? Do you have any girl dog ideas? Girl dog idea names. What about Ariana? Ariana is one of my favorite girl names. Way before Ariana Grande became so famous. In my childhood, I thought Ariana was a very nice name. I think I probably read it in a storybook somewhere. All my name ideas probably come from books. What about Annie? Lemon Lime, give her name Pearl. Oh, that was Lemon Lime who asked that. Very nice. Pearl. Pearl is kind of difficult to say. I think it's nice to have something that is a little bit, easier to finish the word, like sort of like Baji, it ends with an E sound. Because you need to, are you Indian, but your accent is way too good. Uh, oh, thank you. Well, my accent is mixed. So it is what it is. I am Indian. I'm from India originally, where I grew up, and now we live in Boston. But yes, let's think. Let's keep thinking. Let everybody. Oh, Shakuni Mama. I see Tatya Bichu has changed their name. So I was wondering, sometimes we make some VIP guest friends in the live and then they change their usernames. And I wonder, do I know this person? They seem familiar. So it is you. I see. Apni khabar kheche. I'm about to eat something actually. So good idea, Tatya. Is Tatya your like first name? And is that how you say it? Hopefully I'm saying that right. Hi Baji. Baji Shona. Oh, Baji is about to join his sister. Good job, Baji baby. How many cats do you have? I have 16 and they live outside. Ooh, Hanji, have some meals. Very nice. Thank you, I will. I'm about to get some food actually. So the kitty cats, you have 16. Thank you so much, Spooky Month, for taking care of 16 cats. That's very nice of you. Hopefully they go to the vet and everything still, even though they're outside. The kitty babies do need that. I have, well, you will find out. You will find out in the live how many cats we have. So I'll let you hang out just a minute here. And hang out right here for a few minutes. So everybody get familiar with each other in the live chat. I will be getting myself a little bit of food and rejoining you in just a second, and I'll be still here because the kitchen is like right here. But I try to let people kind of get settled and have a few minutes to themselves and each other and chat and sort of dominate the chat with their comments and things they want to say before we get started into our lesson of the day. So I actually am thinking that we have been doing a lot of physics reading and a lot of physics lessons, sort of, understanding about special relativity and general relativity in our night lives especially. I'm thinking that for the purposes of the Saturday and Sunday live during the afternoon when a lot of people join, a lot of different types of people, I might sometimes read a more fun book. By fun I mean something that's more leisurely and go back to sort of a murder mystery style reading again. So because in the past on the Saturday Sunday lives we actually have had a lot of fun with murder mystery books. We've read Agatha Christie. We finished her book Sad Cypress and we sort of discussed it and it was really fun. And before that we were reading something called Every Breath You Take by, of course, let me go, actually, where is that book? You know what? I hope I did not misplace it. Where is it? Because I actually need to return that book. Does anybody remember, if you were in the live during that time, can you tell us what book that was? Because it's like a quiz. Wait a minute. Where is it? Oh well, I can't find it. I can't find that particular book right now, but we have read 2 murder mysteries on here. And today we have this book called Duplicate Death. Look at this. This is Duplicate Death by Georgette Heyer, however you say that. She is another very well-known murder mystery and, novel writer. Of course, reading the back of this, let me give you a little bit of a summary of the book. An elegant card party turns deadly. Inspector Hemingway has his work cut out for him when a seemingly civilized game of duplicate bridge leads to a double murder. The crimes seem identical, but were they carried out by the same hand? Things become even more complicated when the fiancé of the inspector's young friend, Timothy Kane, becomes Hemingway's prime suspect. Kane is determined to prove the lady's innocence, but when he begins digging into her past, he finds it's more than a little bit shady. Ooh, so Georgette Heyer wrote over 50 books, including Regency romances, mysteries, and historical fiction. Her barrister husband, Ronald Rougier, provided many of the plots for her detective novels, which are classic English country house mysteries, reminiscent of Agatha Christie. Look at that. See, everybody's inspired by Agatha Christie. That's why we started with, well, we didn't start with Agatha Christie's book, but we spent some time with her book because it is just wonderful. Heyer was legendary for her research, historical accuracy, inventive plots, and sparkling characterization. So that's what we are going to be starting on today. We'll get into we will get into this book a little bit and just kind of see how we feel about this. I actually have not read this book yet. Oh, nice. This book is from the library. So thankfully, I do know where Sad Cypress is, because that book is actually going to be due at the library soon. So I'm kind of like looking at my library. My library. Three cats. Yes. I have a dog, his name is Kalu. Oh, very nice. Is he black? In color, I mean. So anyway, this is the book that we're going to be starting on today. It's a fun book, just a murder mystery. I do love murder mysteries, and I figured why not? We'll get back to our oh, sorry about my hand there. We'll get back to our Saturday, Sunday routine of the murder mysteries. Hanji, he's completely black. Oh, wow. How nice. So there is a doggy who is completely black. Very nice. Those doggies can be very nice. Okay, let's see. Let me put the phone like that. Just so. Just so. So basically, we've also been reading Einstein's Cosmos, of course, the physics book, and we've been touching upon and discussing some of these physics topics, also drawing from my background in physics. But I wanted to say that it's kind of nice to switch it up too, because a lot of people enjoy murder mysteries, so we will also do that. Especially on these, I think, the Saturday, Sunday lives in the afternoon, we will spend our time with these murder mystery books. So let's see, duplicate death. So looks like this has to do with a duplicate bridge game, like a card game. And I will be honest, I actually do not know how to play bridge. This might be kind of important to the book's plot. Hopefully they'll describe what bridge means, what the card game means. But if anybody wants to chime in into the live chat and tell us what bridge means, or duplicate bridge, if you know about that game, if this is a game that I think it is, then do tell. Do share in the chat. And we will get started with chapter 1 in just a moment here. So let's take a minute. I'm going to be right back with my stuff and with my coffee, and we will get started. What is duplicate bridge / duplicate death? Oh, and you know what? This is going to be a nice theme for the Halloween. It's going to be Halloween theme. It sounds very eerie. I know that all of the murder mysteries are basically, about a murder. So it's similar, but at the same time, duplicate death just sounds very scary and very like serious and eerie. So we'll do this for the Halloween themed reading. All right. Fuji, are you gonna help me with my coffee making? Usually he comes and helps me with that. This is why I'm a little bit wondering what is about to happen here today. There he comes. He's coming. He's coming. No, baby. So how has everyone's week been? Oh. How is everybody's week going? Anyone in school? Anyone school or college or work? How has it been going? So the Mary Higgins Clark is the other author we were reading. I'm still trying to think what I did with that book. The other day I went to a restaurant with a book, and I read the book while I was waiting for my food to come. It's actually really nice. To read a book in a restaurant, it's so relaxing because everyone gets relaxed. They're like, okay, yeah, she's just gonna read a book and she'll eat some food and that's it. So it's not a very, don't have to do a lot. Wow, both. That's awesome, Amir. So I asked school or college or work, and Amir says both. That's amazing. Thank you for working so hard. How are you? BJ is joining from South Korea. How is South Korea, BJ? And do you know about the duplicate bridge card game? Because we're about to read a book that has this in it, potentially. Although I will say I have not read the book myself yet, so it'll be a surprise for all of us. If you know the story already, don't tell us the end of it. But if you want to tell us about duplicate bridge, then go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, you know what? I have bananas. I need to eat a banana. A nababa. Banana. Hi. Oh, you're in Holland? Oh, nice. So you're in Europe. Well, that's only 6 hours ahead. How is Holland, BJ? I haven't been there in a while. Yeah. Yeah, around 10 p.m. in Holland. Mm-hmm. Not very cold and not raining. Wow, yeah. Oh, nice. That's perfect. Scotland is raining, but also very beautiful. I went to Scotland this time of year last year. Kind of miss it, but good to know that Holland is not raining at this time. Yeah. I think it's lower latitudes enough to not be too bad. I mean, today Boston is really nice. Look at this, sunny, breezy. Your cat looks like my cat Luna. Oh wow. Hi Koshiera. Oh yeah. Food prices a little expensive, yeah. Mm-hmm. Eating out. But I think you don't have to tip at the restaurants, right? In Europe, they don't tip. Right, BJ? In America, you have to tip. That's part of the deal. So when I've tipped in other countries, they've been so confused. They were really happy in New Zealand. I was like, wait, what? They don't expect it, you know? Yes, they don't take tips. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? They just take your card and you pay for the food and you leave. Wow. Like, what? You don't have to do math at the end? Unbelievable. Unbelievable to us Americans. Oh, wait. Why am I opening that? So, I kind of miss reading Agatha Christie, so I'm going to go to the library this week and get more Agatha Christie for myself and for you guys. But in the meantime, I think it'll be fun to read this duplicate death book. So I haven't read Georgette Heyer in a while. It's been some time. I've kind of forgotten her style, so it'll be nice to get into it. Yeah, Suji's looking at the outside. right. Let us get started. Hopefully you can hear me fine. So we're going to be starting for the first time today this book, Duplicate Death, by Georgette Heyer. And we'll get started and we'll see how we feel about this book. She writes murder mysteries. This one is called Duplicate Death for Halloween theme. We're going to be reading it. So hopefully you can hear my voice. I'm over here. And we will get started. Hi, Fuji. Oh, shit. Oh, shoot. Sorry. I accidentally deleted something. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to delete someone's comment. I just touched it when I picked up the phone. Hi, BJ. Hi, Mike Hunt. It's a windy day, yeah. Hi, Kosiara. Hi, Amir. Hi, Spooky Month. Hi, everybody. We will be starting now. Right now. Okay. Let me put the phone down here so that you can see the view and I read for you. But yeah, there's a nice breeze. It is nice. Indeed. All right, chapter 1. Hi, Baji. There were several promising-looking letters in the pile laid on Mrs. James Cain's virgin breakfast plate on Monday morning. But having sorted all the envelopes with the air of one expectant of discovering treasure trove, she extracted 2 addressed to her in hands indicative either of illiteracy or of extreme youth. One was tastefully inscribed in red ink, the other appeared to have been written with a crossed nib trailing a hair. Both were addressed to Mr. and Mrs. James Cain, but the incorporation of her husband's style with her own, Mrs. Cain very properly ignored. Both missives would undoubtedly open with the formula, "Dear Mummy and Daddy," but any share in their contents to which Mr. James Cain could lay claim would be indicated by the words, "Tell Daddy." Such information as was conveyed under this heading would be of a sporting nature. Urgent needs ranging from money for the defraying of unforeseen and inescapable expenses to the instant forwarding of possessions only to be found after several days of intensive and exhausting search would be addressed with rare prescience to Mummy. So it had been since the grim day of Master Silas James Cain's departure at the age of 8 to his preparatory school in the West. So it was on this Monday morning in February. Although Master Silas Cain was beginning to take more than an aloof interest in such trials of knowledge as the Common Entrance Examination, and his junior, Master Adrian Timothy Cain, had been, for several terms, pleasurably employed in upholding the tradition set for him at St. Cyprian's of throwing himself wholeheartedly into all the more violent athletic pursuits, baiting unpopular masters, and doing a little work as was compatible with physical comfort. Had she been asked to do so, James Cain could have supplied the inquirer with a very fair paraphrase of either of her elder son's letters, but this circumstance in no way detracted from the avidity with which she searched through Monday's post, or the satisfaction with which she perused the 2 documents that made Monday a red letter day. Neither contributed much to her knowledge of her offspring's mental or physical well-being. An anxious question addressed to Master Adrian on the subject of an unidentified pain which might or might not turn out to be a grumbling appendix had been left unanswered, together with an urgent command to Master Silas to find out from
Mr. Kentmere when half term will be so that Daddy and I can make arrangements to come down. Both young gentlemen would have been much distressed by a failure on the part of their parents to put in an appearance at this function, but thus early in the term their minds were preoccupied with more pressing matters, chief amongst which was the need to replace the bath sponge of one Bolton Bagby, which, wrote Master Adrian Kane, got chuckled out of the window of Big Dorm. So it looks like she's got sons in a boarding school, and she is reading their letters and hoping for communication from her sons. Mr. James Kane, regaled with this passage, grinned and said, "Young devil, what's Silas got to say?" Mrs. James Kane, in loving accents, read aloud the letter from her firstborn. It opened with a pious hope that his parents were enjoying good health, adjured her to tell Daddy that we had a match against St. Stephen's, we won 15-0, they were punk, requested the instant dispatch of an envelope containing such examples of the stamp engraver's art as were known to him as my swaps, and informed his mother that owing to the thievish habits of some person or persons unknown, a new pair of fives gloves was urgently required. A disarming bracket added the words, "if you can manage it," and a postscript conveyed kindly words of encouragement to his sister Susan and his infant brother William. Oh my God. So she's got a couple of older sons in the boarding school, probably, and a couple of younger kids at home. That is funny. Their letters are basically, "give us some stuff because we lost it." "So they're all right," said Mrs. Kane, restoring both these interesting communications to their envelopes. Mr. Kane did not ask her on what grounds she based this pronouncement, since his post had contained a demand from the Commissioners of Inland Revenue, which anyone less well acquainted with this body of persons might have supposed. "Oh, hi, Fuji. Fuji brought me a toy. Hi, Fuji. Come, Fuji. Come, Fuji, baby." Which anyone less acquainted with this body of persons might have supposed to have been an infelicitous essay in broad humor, his son's request for new fives gloves fell on hostile ears. He delivered himself of a strong-worded condemnation of his wife's foolish practice of bringing up her children in the belief that their father was a millionaire. When she grew tired of listening to him, Mrs. Kane said simply, "All right, I'll tell him he can't have them." Mr. James Kane was a gentleman of even temper, but at these wifely words, he cast upon his helpmate a glance of loathing and said that he supposed he would have to see to it himself. He then passed his cup to her for more coffee, adding bitterly that Silas grew more like his half-uncle Timothy every day. "Talking of Timothy," said Mrs. Kane, returning to the perusal of a letter covering several sheets of paper, "I've got a long letter from your mother." "Fuji." "Oh," said Mr. Kane, sufficiently interested to suspend the opening of the newspaper. "Does she say how Adrian is?" "No, she doesn't mention him. Oh, yes, she does. Tell Jim I'm relying on him to help me to spare Adrian any unnecessary anxiety. He's frailer than I like, and this wretched weather is doing him no good." Mr. Kane, oh my gosh. Fuji, can you please stop? Thank you. Mr. Kane held his stepfather in considerable affection, but his response to this lacked enthusiasm. "If Timothy's up to the mischief again and mother thinks I'm going to remonstrate with him, there's nothing doing. Darling Jim, you know perfectly well you'll have to. If he really is entangled with some frightful creature, I must say it does sound pretty dire." "My dear girl, I've already heard all about the dizzy blonde from Mother," said Mr. Kane, opening the Times. "Mother doesn't like her style or her background or anything about her, and I dare say she's quite right." Hi, Fuji. Here's Baji. So this blonde they're talking about, mother doesn't like her style or her background or anything about her, and I dare say she's quite right. But why she has to go into a flap every time Timothy makes a mild pass at some good-looking wench is something I shall never fathom. He folded the paper to his satisfaction and began to fill a pipe before settling down to a happy 10 minutes with our golf correspondent. You're just as bad, he added severely. You both of you behave as though Timothy were a kid in his first year at Cambridge. Well, I don't hold any brief for young Timothy, but I should call him a pretty hard-boiled specimen myself. What's more, he's 27, and if he can't protect himself from designing blondes now, he never will. Oh, geez. Wow. A very distinct writing style, I must say, for this lady, Georgette Heyer. Thank you. Thank you, Amir. I do prefer psychological books. Yes. Yeah. Me too. Me too. Like thrillers, suspense, murder, like that. So I think this book has a lot of like these types of conversations and things. It's a distinct style. We'll finish this chapter. It's okay. I'm not sure I am a big fan of this writing style, but that's okay. We'll finish the chapter and see how we feel. Anyone would think to hear you that you didn't care what became of him, remarked Mrs. Kane. Besides, it isn't the blonde, it's another girl. Fast worker, observed Mr. Kane. Mrs. Kane paid no heed to this, but went on reading her mother-in-law's letter, a frown slowly gathering between her brows. She looked up at the end and said seriously, Jim, really, this isn't funny. He's going to marry her. Timothy, said Mr. Kane incredulously, rot. He told your mother so himself. But who is she? That's just it. Your mother says she cannot discover who she is. She doesn't seem to have a single relative or any sort of a background. Her name, said Mrs. Kane, consulting Lady Hart's letter, is Beulah Bertley. Your mother says that she hopes she isn't a snob. Yes, all right. There's no need to make that noise. It isn't being snobbish to want to know what sort of people your son's wife springs from. Anyway, she says she wouldn't mind if only she knew something about the girl or even liked her. Has mother actually met her? Oh, psychology books. Yes, I like psychology too. We should read some psychology sometime. Yes, at Timothy's chambers. She says she can't imagine what Timothy sees in her because she isn't in the least his type, hasn't any manners, and is obviously up to no good. In fact, she says adventurous is written all over her. Good Lord, said Mr. Kane. But look here, this is cockeyed. Not a month ago, mother was having the shudders over the blonde beauty and telling us what hell Timothy would have with this Mrs. Haddington or whatever her name was for a mother-in-law. When did he pick up this new number? At the Haddingtons. She's Mrs. Haddington's secretary. Okay. So, last person's mom's secretary is the new person. Got it. Your mother says that she found her definitely hostile and she's convinced that there's something thoroughly shady about her. She says she hasn't said a word about it to Sir Adrian because the girl is just the type he would dislike and she would not have him, and she won't have him worried. Apparently the engagement isn't official yet. Here you can read her letter for yourself. Mr. Kane laid aside the Times and read through 5 close-written pages with what his wife considered maddening deliberation. He then folded the letter and handed it back to her. Well, she said impatiently, I can't say it sounds good, he replied. However, if you've only got mother's word for all this, and if you've seen the damsel she thinks worthy of Timothy, I can only say I haven't. No, but you don't think it's odd for a girl meeting her future mother-in-law, not even to mention her own parents? May have been shy. Nonsense. There's something fishy about her, Jim, and you know it. I don't know any such thing, and if I did, what the hell do you think I can do about it? I'm not Timothy's keeper. No, but you're years older than he is, and you know how he's always adored you and looked up to you. My good girl, said Mr. Kane, revolted. I may have been a hero to Timothy when he was a kid. Not that he ever gave much sign of venerating me. But that's years ago. Of course, I didn't mean he still looks on you as a sort of demigod, but he's awfully fond of you, Jim. He'd need to be if he was going to put up with me barging into his affairs, said Mr. Kane grimly. Jim, you must try to do something. You can't pretend you want Timothy to make a muck of his life. It's no use. Saying he's hard-boiled and old enough to take care of himself, being a commando doesn't make a boy worldly wise. If you don't care, I do. Obviously, he's making a fool of himself, but I shall never forget how angelic he was to me all through that ghastly Dunkirk time, and how he gave up 2 whole days of his leave to come and see me in that disgusting place I took the children to when you were in Italy. He tried to teach Silas to catch a ball too, which was quite futile because the poor sweet was far too young. She added in a besotted tone, he did look such a pet. Now look here. Not Timothy. Silas, of course. Anyway, you can't just do nothing, Jim. You ought to try and find out something about this girl. Couldn't you go up to London and see them? So what's happening here is Mr. and Mrs. Kane are talking with each other about some letters they've received. Some of these letters are from their kids. Seems like they have 2 sons in a boarding school. And they have also heard from Mr. Kane's mom, who is complaining about probably one of his son's new fiancée/girlfriend, and she doesn't like her. This guy Timothy, who is the other son, seems to be somebody who is interesting and gets into all kinds of things. And Mr. Kane is saying that, you know, this brother of his is out of his hands. He can't do anything to help him or save him. But his wife is saying, no, you have to do something. Please talk to him. You know, stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. So that's what this chapter is. I think what I will do is I might just read this and summarize it a little bit for you next time. And maybe we won't read the whole thing, but kind of do like snippets. As the plot thickens, we can figure it out like that. I can let you know what happens in the story as the plot is thickening and pick it up sort of past these types of conversations that are in the beginning. Because I think in the beginning there will be a lot of conversations between Mr. Kane and Mrs. Kane. And it's basically setting it up to show us what are the different family dynamics. And once we know about those family dynamics, those are going to be important because they probably play a role in the duplicate death, murder situation. Travel channel. I post about travel on my Instagram if you want to follow that. And then I also am starting, well, I have posted about travel on the channel before, but I've kind of focused it more in the niche of the kitty cats at this point. And then I'm going to do it separately into a different channel for the travel content. But if you want to follow my travel stuff, feel free to do so on Instagram. It's already ready for that. What else? What are your... Oh, sorry. I think I did something to the live. What else are your thoughts and comments, everybody? I do prefer psychology books. You mean like psychological thrillers or books where we study psychology? Because I have both. And I like both, actually. So I think with the murder mystery novels, the beginnings are always a bit more slow. Now, Agatha Christie, the way she writes, she kind of lets you sort of visualize things a lot with her descriptions, and it's not too crowded with the words and with the dialogues and with the conversations. She keeps it kind of simple and lets you imagine the scenery. You know what I mean? Like she lets you develop the scenery and the scenes with time without getting into too many sort of word count. So there's a very different style for Agatha Christie. There's a reason why so many people like her, right? So she keeps it more simple, I think. It's both simple and clever and witty, and she's letting you discover sort of the story yourself with the simple style of narration and keeping the words sort of less. Whereas I think with Georgette Heyer, it's going to be a lot of words and it's going to be a lot of conversations and dialogues between back and forth between the characters. So if you're not kind of keeping up with all these different characters and sort of doing a summary of what is happening in your head, it's going to be hard to keep up. So I think what I'll do is I'll read it and summarize for you and kind of skip through some of the conversations so that it's not a lot for people to digest. But the story should still be good. Like the plot, the way she does this plot is probably still very clever. And, you know, who doesn't like a nice murder mystery? What about TikTok? Yes, Baji the Handsome Cat is on TikTok. We have very few followers at the moment because we just started it. And I have an older TikTok as well, which is sort of just a mishmash of various topics. But if you search for Baji the Handsome Cat on TikTok, you can find us there as well. But yeah, that's Duplicate Death. Here's Baji. Baji is taking a rest. It helps them. Okay, that's fine. You can just catch up with us here on YouTube. TikTok does not work in India. That's fine. YouTube is just fine. And there's also Instagram and Facebook. So no worries. No worries, kiddos. So anyways, yeah. Informative books about human behavior, why we act as we do, and how to improve our actions. Ooh, that's a great thought. So you're saying psychology types of topics and figuring out why we behave the way we do and how to improve our actions would be good. Yeah. No, I follow. I actually took some psychology courses on the side in the past, like along with my job, and I do actually have some psychology books, and there are some very interesting psychology topics that we could cover on here, along with the physics topics that we've been covering. I have 11,000. Hi, Tatia. Hi. But yeah, interesting to see how different the writing styles are of these different people, different authors who are all very well known. So in the book, Mrs. Kane is trying to convince Mr. Kane to go to London and do some detective work about this girl. Straight in the chair.
Okay, this part is funny. So it looks like the two children have now come into the living room where Mr. and Mrs. Kane were talking. And they've come in, it looks like, with a woman who's maybe like the nanny. And she is being called the despot who rules over the entire Kane family. Mr. Kane does not like her. And this lady calls them mommy and daddy because she's speaking for like the children. So so she says, here we are, come to kiss daddy and mommy good morning. The nanny is saying that. So Mr. Kane finds this to be very annoying, and he's like, in moments of acute stress, Mr. Kane had been known to threaten to take matters into his own hands, saying that he failed to see why he should be treated in his own house as if he were a cross between an imbecile and a 2-year-old. He added that if the infernal woman called him daddy once more, he would not be responsible for the consequences. Fortunately for the smooth running of the house, he was either too much in awe of Nanny to put his threats into execution, or too well aware of the irreplaceable nature of her services. For Nanny, a tower of smiling strength in time of war rose to fresh heights when the horrors of peace sapped what little vitality was left in her employers. The Kanes, returning to take up their interrupted residence in one wing of a mansion inherited by Mr. James Kane from his grandmother, prohibited by excessive taxation from giving employment to the 8 or 9 persons necessary for the upkeep of the house and its grounds, found in the highly trained and starched ruler of their nurseries a treasure whose brassy cheerfulness rose triumphant above every domestic crisis. Wow. If the cook left, having heard that she could earn 3 times her present wages in London without being obliged to prepare more than 2 dinners in the week, London employers being easily terrorized into eating most of their meals at expensive restaurants, Nanny would laugh in a jolly way, say that what could not be cured must be endured, and if Mummy would give an eye to the children, she would see what could be done. Aw, so Nanny is very accommodating, it looks like, and a very important person in this household. If Winnie, who was the housemaid and mentally defective, but not, said Nanny bracingly so as you would notice, became incapable through the agony caused by one of the teeth which she obstinately refused to have drawn, Nanny would sit up all night, ministering to the sufferer. So she took good care of everyone, even though she drives Mr. Kane a little bit mad. Aw, Suji is resting. Unresponsive to new ideas, Nanny, having listened with at least half an ear to the progressive doctrine of maximum wages for minimum work, dismissed it by saying that was as might be, but talk wouldn't get the silver cleaned. Aww. It spoke volumes for her personality that the exponent of this noble doctrine only expressed her contempt for such retrograde ideas by a sniff and a flounce, and then applied herself to the burnishing of spoons and forks. This extremely trying paragon now said, with the air of one recounting a humorous anecdote, "Yes, Mummy, that Florrie hasn't come this morning, which doesn't surprise me in the least, her being paid by the week like she is, and it being Monday and all. No loss is what I say, for really, if I was to tell you some of the things she did, but the least said the soonest mended, and no good crying over spilt milk. So I thought I would just pop Bill in his pram presently and walk down to the village to see if Mrs. Frumby would oblige till you get suited, Mummy, though why oblige is more than I can tell, considering what you pay her, but what I say is it won't do if Cook was to get upset, and Susan will like to go down to the village, won't you, ducky? Oh dear, dear, look at those sticky handy-pandies, and every drop of hot water to be boiled on account of Jackson forgetting to stoke the boiler before he went off home last night. Really, one doesn't hardly like to say what the world is coming to. Yes, Mummy, Mrs. Formby it must be. But if I was you, I would put an advertisement in the Glasgow Herald, because, say what you like, those Scotch girls are clean.
which is more than we can say about some others, whose names we won't mention. Not in present company, will be my ducks. So it's still the nanny who's calling Mrs. Kane mummy and basically giving her an account of who is doing what in the household. Some people are not working as well as they should, and she's the despot. She rules this house. Brown cat. It looks different. Have a good day. Thank you. Have a happy Sunday. So, almost done with this chapter. We'll finish. Unable to bear any more of this excellent creature's discourse. So basically the discourse we just heard was the nanny still speaking about all the various things going on in the house, what she kind of liked or disliked, who might be replaced, who might be put an advertisement in to get a new person to do the job. And she's telling, mommy and daddy about all of this, which is Mr. and Mrs. Kane's. But it's a lot. So, unable to bear any more of this excellent creature's discourse, Mr. James Kane rose from the table with the slight awkwardness peculiar to those who had left the better parts of their left legs to be decently interred in enemy soil. What Mr. James Kane secretly thought of his loss he had divulged to none, his only recorded utterance on the subject being a pious thanksgiving to Providence that he had an artificial leg to raise him in the eyes of the progeny above the spurious claims to distinction of their Uncle Timothy. But Mrs. James Kane, to whom the sight of Daddy putting on his leg was not a treat of the first order, could never see this slight awkwardness without suffering a contraction of the heart, and she now said, quickly and quite irrationally, "Never mind about Timothy. Must you go to town next week?" So, he lost a leg. And he feels some pain about it, and that makes Mrs. Kane feel bad. Mr. James Kane, perfectly appreciating the cause of this sudden volte-face, grinned affectionately at her, limped around the table to bestow a chaste salute upon her cheek, said "goop" in a fond voice, and departed to pursue his avocation in the neighboring metropolis, from which Mrs. Kane gathered that the loss of a limb was troubling him neither mentally nor physically, that he had every intention of visiting London in the immediate future, and that he would use his best endeavors to dissuade his young half-brother from contracting an undesirable alliance. She was thus able to devote her mind to the domestic problem confronting her, for whatever Jim might say, he possessed great influence over Timothy, and would no doubt contrive at least to avert disaster. In these comfortable conclusions, Mrs. James Kane might have been proved to have been right if Lady Hartey had enlisted her help rather earlier, or had Mr. Kane put forward his journey to London. In the event, Mr. James Kane reached London in time only to take part in proceedings of which, as he vulgarly informed his wife, he had already, during the course of a singularly blameless life, had a bellyful. So, it seems like they're going to be too late for whatever the plan is with Timothy. But that's chapter 1. We just finished Georgette Heyer's chapter 1 of Duplicate Death. We've got a bit of an introduction of Mr. and Mrs. Kane, their household, the nanny, their kids, some of the kids are in boarding school, some of them are at home, they're very little. Nanny is a great leader about the house. She is also sort of running the show, and Mr. Kane kind of finds that to be annoying, but still she does a lot. So she's very valuable. And so we got a little bit of a feel for the dynamic between these people. Mrs. Kane was trying to convince Mr. Kane to do something about his half-brother's, life choices, and, Mr. Kane was not very agreeing, but it seems like he still went to London, and maybe that didn't do very much. So what she said. Is that So the next chapter, chapter 2, we will get an introduction to Timothy and this girl that they were worrying about, Beulah. Right? Beulah was her name. Let's see. I think it'll be interesting because we will get a sense of the dynamics between Beulah and Timothy. Just some family drama. So the first chapter was just basically some family drama. Not too different from everyday life. Oh, you know what? I want to make a clip. So I think we will continue from the next chapter next time. I'll think about whether I want to continue this book or just get back into the physics topics we were covering. I will take into account the feedback we got today, which is that people want to learn about psychology. I think that is also a very good topic. So we might do that as well. But I think a lot of it is going to be the physics topics that we've been covering. I thought we'll mix it up a little bit with another murder mystery on the weekend, but I think we will definitely keep on covering some of the physics topics just because those have a great flow to it and they lead to the next topic and the next topic and the next topic. So it's nice. It's nice. Hopefully you'll enjoy and learn something new here. And even without that, you can always relax and just think of this as a peaceful time. I do have an appointment today, so I have to wrap it up early today. Usually these lives go pretty long, but today I have to be somewhere. I will be back. We will be back on this live again tomorrow, though. And we still have a few minutes we can chat and hang out. It is interesting to see how different the styles are of these authors. It's a lot of words for this book as compared to Agatha Christie. Like Georgette Heyer seems to sort of use a lot of words, and some of the words are a little difficult as well. But not bad. Not bad. It's a very loud car. Baji, you want to say hi to everybody? Baji, say hi. Baji is gonna take a nap now. Nap now. Oops. I'm sitting on a rather hard surface. Sitting over there. It's not very comfortable. It's not very comfortable. Hi, Baji. Baji baby. Baji baby has been so good at adjusting to his new litter robot. We're doing a product review of this as well, but it has been surprisingly successful. He's so good at modern technology. Baji baby can even play the piano. He can turn things on. He can turn the shredder on. He adjusts very quickly. Baji baby. Oh, that little piece. That little face. Hi. It's a self-cleaning kitty cat. Oh, sorry, Baji. I'm just moving. I'm just getting a little comfy. It's 444. Baji baby, when we started the live, we saw 333. Now it's 444. Thank you so much for joining today on the live stream. I think I'm going to go get Agatha Christie this week. A new one. And we will continue our physics topics and more Agatha Christie. Because I think I like Agatha Christie more. Like a lot more. This book is not bad. I'll probably finish it. But Agatha Christie is magical. The way she writes, so simple yet so effective. With fewer words, she can describe more. Just a very skilled writer, you know? So, and the way she sets up the murder mysteries too, she always gives you all the information you need to kind of solve it yourself. And that style is something that
people kind of copy from her, or they try to, because that's where she is remarkable. Like, that's why she's so famous, because people know that she's given you everything to like solve it yourself. And a lot of shows or movies or other authors who might be trying to do the same, the way they kind of do it is actually to not tell the full information and kind of keep things for the end. And that's actually how they get people to kind of keep following the content or following the story, by revealing things at the end, which is like, I mean, it works, but it's not as clever as Agatha Christie. What do you do for work? Well, my background is in physics, so I've had a lot of different jobs that have to do with STEM background or physics research, in academia, sort of in pseudo-academia, industry jobs, consulting, that sort of stuff. Aerospace, defense, things like that. But I think what I am doing now for work is I'm learning and reading and doing even more studying of physics. So I'm a lifelong student of physics and other topics. And I make videos. And I write. I have a blog. I also have books. So I write and make content and study and breathe. That's what I do for work. What about you? Baji! I need to buy some toilet paper today. Hi, Afshin. Afshin, how are you? Thank you for joining. I'm good. How have you been? We're good. We're just chilling. We were doing a little bit of reading from the book called Duplicate Death by Georgette Heyer. We just read the first chapter and got a little bit into the book. We've also been covering a lot of physics topics, sort of physics topics to do with mainly general relativity. It's nice, no school, just sitting outside and enjoying the lovely air. Oh, good! Yay! Yes, please do enjoy the lovely outside. Books that you've written. Yes, I have some books. It's nice enjoying the lovely air. That's good. That's great. Fresh air, some walking, some breathing, some exercising, some drinking water, some good food. That's all we really need. Enjoy, Afshin. Yes, I have some books. They're more focused towards PhD students and postdocs at this time. So, you know, just for fun, I wrote them, but also to be kind of helpful to people who've been in the similar career path. But they're very niche, so they're on Amazon, and people can buy them if they want, but no pressure, because I understand they're not for everybody. And also, I blog, so that's free. You can go read my blog if you want. It's linked here in my bio somewhere. Yeah, now, just a chill life, just a chill time. Some books, some blogs, some videos. Yeah, kitty cat. The kitty cats help to make topics more accessible. They are the emotional support fur babies that we all needed to get through tough topics. They all have PhDs in physics. I have a house cat and a stray cat. Nice. Enjoy your house cat and stray cat. Baji baby is a little bit sleepy now. Little bit sleepy. My stray's name is Halva. Halva. As in like the dessert? Halva. Wait. Is that right? Okay, I have to start getting ready. Oh my god. Actually, I gotta make sure that my phone has enough charge. All right, I'm also charging now. Good. Charge, charge, charge. Yes, my family is from Pakistan. Good. Very nice. We have a few Pakistani friends on this live joining regularly, so welcome, welcome. Halwa. Yay. Okay, so Fuji, what is the weather like today? Is it cold? No, it seems nice. It seems nice. I think Fuji wants treats. My coat on. I want to be snug. I want to be snug. Still don't know where my book went. By Mary Higgins Clark. Do you like Japanese music? Sorry, no, the screen is not frozen. I put this down for a second. I don't know much about Japanese music, but feel free to share more. Gotta go. See you next time. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you, Amir. See you next time. Thank you, thank you. See ya. Afshin says, pleasure to talk to you. Thank you. And I don't know if I know much about Japanese music. Tell me more, Afshin. Come, Fuji. No, Fuji. Fuji. I don't know about that either. I know my favorite song right now is called The Revival by Belle Sisowski. I do have to run today. Thank you everybody for joining, and I'll